You need to ask a question.
Yes, the contract was drafted by our office, that's correct.
So therefore, that email was this contract was account offer from Amara, is that correct?
That's correct. The changes that were contained in the contract, which was voted on, were the response by Dr. Enier to the proposals by the board. That is correct.
That's my point.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Trustee Wilson?
So
That's what he said, we cannot bring it back to.
he's looking it up right now, but just to say, the contract that was the original contract, she counteracted with less. So I don't know why everybody's upset. She wanted less. She's asking for less that was in the original contract. I'm asking him, I got the floor. Asking him a question. Please, everyone, hold on, please. Forget it. Okay, order, please, you guys, please. Please. Sorry, the attorney is looking up. Okay, conclusion is that we can go into executive session, discussion, come back out to regular session and vote on it, okay? We're not going to executive session right now, we're gonna continue, believe it or not, we have something else on the agenda. First, second, and third reading ordinance, authorizing execution of, sorry, that's stuff on that, I apologize. Okay, new business, first, second, and third reading ordinance amending, hello, respect please. First, second, and third reading an ordinance amending chapter 808, section 808-01, chapter 808, title 2 of part 8 of codified ordinance in the Village of University Park, Will and Cook counties, prohibiting the sales of individual containers of beer less than 24 ounces in volume. Is there a motion? Moved by trustee Wilson, second. Second by trustee Brooks. Roll call, please. I'm sorry, no questions, concerns? Heaven forbid.
All right, I have a couple of questions. First of all, the way the cover page on the ordinance reads, if you look at the last two sentences, it says prohibiting the sale of individual containers of beer of less than 24 ounces in volume. So what this cover page says, that it's okay to have 32 ounces down to 24 ounces, but you can't have a can of beer. Because anything less than 24 ounces in volume is prohibited, which contradicts,
Is there a typo on this? Clerk, you know? Well, she's gonna speak to this, Clerk T. Jones. Oh, I'm sorry, hold on. Go ahead, Clerk.
Okay, it does not take away the 32 ounce, but what it does, it says, our ordinance currently states that you cannot sell a single beer of less than a quart size. This ordinance would change that to say you cannot sell a single beer of less than 24 ounces. So it reduces the size from 32 ounce to 24 ounces being the smallest container of individual beer that can be sold.
but Clerk Jones, if you go to page 2, paragraph 3, class C, it says the sale of individual containers of beer of less than, struck out 32, 24 ounces in volume is prohibited. That says, according to my mathematical background, that you can't sell anything that's less than 24 ounces.
That's correct, that's single service.
And single service. Single service.
It's a single can, it can't be less than 24 ounces.
So you're saying that a regular small can of beer can't be sold?
That's correct. Individually,
Why?
cans have to be sold in 6 packs.
I mean, my second question is, why? How did this come about? Why are you even considering this?
You explain it, please, Clerk T. Jones.
Trustee Payton and to the board, for a couple of years, we've had 2 liquor owners of businesses that sell packaged goods that have approached the mayor, approached us. Because most communities, a lot of communities, I would say, because we did a survey, they do not hold the community to court size. Most of them, or a lot of them, have the 24 ounce size as single service. So after being constantly asked by a couple of liquor dealers, we took it to the mayor, and the mayor put it on the agenda for the board to approve or not approve single service of less than a quart. Nothing smaller than 24 ounces.
So this is to prevent what, an individual? I mean, I don't drink, so I'm not real familiar with the sizes. So what you're saying is you can't go then and buy an individual can of beer that's less than, or bottle of beer that's less than 24 ounces.
That's correct. It was.
Previously, it was 32 ounces.
It was 32.
I understand they're asking, but why? You know,
That's
At
something.
the request of a couple of liquor dealers. That's why it was brought forward for the board.
So they can sell all cans. Thank you.
what if you buy a 6-pack?
Okay. Chief. Chief, you can speak. You can get you want to speak to that trustee? Yeah, you were explaining it.
So we have certain businesses in our town that sells individual beers, okay, at cheaper prices. So we have more litter that occurs when the police stop people. They're buying individual cans. So it creates an issue, number one, for the village, because you have individual cans, they're littered, Public Works has to pick them up. That's the first thing, okay? So, and then the second thing is, if you're able to purchase non-individual cans and, cans in bulk, it kind of prevents people that had, certain alcohol tendencies or something for just buying an individual can to help themselves out. Okay? So it's actually a twofold. It's a twofold thing. It prevents the littering, and it prevents people that are just out and about that don't have a lot of money from purchasing individual cans of beer for individual consumption. And what the businesses are saying, because they came to me in my office, and I told them I don't deal with that. That's liquor issue, which the clerk and the mayor deals with. What's happening is they're losing business because they're going to other stores buying individual cans of beer. And the individual can rate, if somebody buys 6 individual cans of beer, it comes out less than a 6-pack of beer at another store. So a couple of the local businesses that sell packs approached me about a year and a half ago about it, and I told them that's not a police department matter, but that's a matter that has to go to the liquor commission and has to be addressed by the mayor and the clerk. And I would tell you, this has been an ongoing question for at least since I've been the chief of police, and this has been brought up several times by the businesses in the village.
Trustee.
Looking at the ordinance, it changed it from 32 ounces to 24. So what that does is add an additional size can or bottle that someone can purchase. Before it was 32 ounces, so you were never able to buy 6 individual cans. If you did, that would have been illegal because the minimum single serving you could sell before was 32 ounces. The companies or liquor stores have now requested that they lower it to 24 ounces because a lot of people will drink 24 ounces, which is less than the 32 ounces. But we were never able to sell 6 single cans or 1 single can. It just adds an additional size that they can now keep in their refrigerator of beer or stuff.
Thank you. Is that clear now? Is that right, Trustee? Okay. All right. Any other questions, concerns, comments? Having hearing done, roll call.
Trustee Williams. Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee Brooks.
Both sides.
Trustee McMullen.
Aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
And Mayor Cummings.
Aye.
Madam Mayor, that's ordinance 2017-15.
Thank you. A motion to approve settlement in case number 15 CD is a Victor 8673 in the amount of $180,000. Is that a motion? Your motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Payton, second by trustee Brooks. Questions, concerns?
I
Trustee.
pass them down.
Trustee Larry.
Yeah.
I
I have
Oscar
the,
Brown, they're coming down now.
The actual agreement is passed down, and if you can, once you finish voting, return it back.
Oh, okay. Can we have a minute to look this over? Madam Mayor,
Yes, sir.
can we have a moment to look this over?
Yes, sir.
Can we get a brief summary of the pages from the village manager?
This was something that's. No, you cannot publicly discuss this, please.
I move the table until after executive session.
Table by trustee Wilson, second. There a second? Second by trustee Williams. Any questions, concerns?
Table.
Table. No debate in this?
Not on the table until we come back.
Oh, until this comes back.
Right, until it comes back from executive session.
Okay, so just roll call. Roll call?
Trustee Williams. Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee Brooks.
Aye.
Trustee McMillan.
Aye.
Trustee Tate.
Aye.
Trustee Brown. And Mayor Covington.
Both sides? Okay, thank you. Report from the mayor. Well, first, I'd like, first, I'm sorry. My report here is honoring Mr. James W. Harris. Everyone knows Mr. Harris was an icon in the village of University Park for many, many years. Mr. Jim Harris retired. There was a celebration last Friday. Trustee Wilson and I attended, and certain Supreme Court judges, Judge Williams, Trustee Williams, and myself, and Trustee Wilson. Also, past there, 1994 was there, Larry Boss, state representatives, Supreme judges, and that this man was somebody to know. He's a phenomenal gentleman. And Miss Bobby Greer was there. We thank all the residents of University Park that did attend. He was to be honored. And I will read, whereas Mr. James W. Harris, Jim, as he was formerly called, has been a resident of University Park for more than 40 years and his tireless fought for justice and equality for all and against discrimination in every level. My God. Whereas Jim gives himself not for the fame and fortune, but for the humanitarian, selflessness individual that he is. And his spirit led him to be one of the driving forces to address the issues of racial inequality in the school district 201U when he closed Deer Creek Junior High School, the nearest school in the district located in University Park for racial reasons, and also because of unfair one-way buzzings. And whereas Jim's relentless effort along with the Education Advisory Committee, Village Board, and trustees, attorneys, and other noble residents challenged School District 201U for more than 10 years and successfully won the case, thereby reopening the new, now, Crete-Monee Junior High School in University Park 1998, which resulted in school boundary changes, and Crete-Monee District 201U was forced to hire more minorities, and fund was set up for use of elementary school for extra programs to help with education. And whereas neither time nor space will allow us to chronicle all of the accomplishments of Mr. James W. Harris, but we will mention that during his residency here, he was instrumental in helping set up the University Park Scholarship Fund, a member of the Board of Directors of the United Way of University Park, member of the Education Advisory Committee, Precinct Committeeman, Monee Township Assessor, Monee Township Democratic Chair, and in 2013, he was honored by the Will County Democratic Organization's Volunteer of the Year. And whereas his dedication to the health and welfare of the village of University Park, the township, county, state, and region gives us ample reasons to reserve special recognition for a very special man. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Benini, Governor Mayor of University Park, do hereby proclaim Friday, July 7th as James W. Harris Day in the Village of University Park, presented on the 7th of July, 2017. This was an icon of this village. In this very room, he brought President Obama, be senator. This man is to be worshiped, honored, and we really missed. He is leaving the village. We're moving with his family, but he said he will still come back for campaigns. And that's the kind of man he was. I was there when he was honored in Joliet, and you should have seen the dignitaries that was there. So again, we honor him, respect him, and love him, and we'll really, really miss him. Thank you. I will ask right now for reports from clerks, and my report, I'm sorry, the mayor's report, that's part of my report, and the other part is I've been very, very busy. And I just wanted to thank the people that volunteered for the town hall meeting that's upcoming in August 19th, I'm sorry, the energy in that room last night was refreshing. To hear positive people, the volunteers that want to do something for the village that's behind, and happy to see Miss Dr. Inya here, and want to pitch in and make this village where it used to be, as Miss Bobby Greer said, free things, bringing back all those great committees that was voted down as coming back. To hear their energy, it was just no disrespect, no arguments, and we were in a tight office of mine, and there was 21 people. And I just want to thank you so much for that, and I appreciate the things that you're doing. I've been offered to be on the National Women's Organization Summit by Valerie Jarrett and other people, and I'll be out July, August, September, and October representing the Village of University Park, which I did mention Miss Dr. Inya, and they were very proud that we had her, and it made me feel good. And I feel good about where we're going with this village. With that said, I will turn it over to department heads with your reports. Thank you. Yes. Yes.
Mayor Covington,
Yes, sir.
board members. Sorry about that, I got a little cold there. But you know, I do want to actually comment on some comments that was made by Trustee Payton about a couple of meetings ago. First of all, he did get a couple of things right about my background. Okay, one of the things that he did get correct about my background was that I do have my own tax company, over $500,000 in sales, and a really huge. I'm not going to say really huge, but I do get a good profit, you know, from that. So he did get that correct. Another thing that he got corrected is I did work for the Walgreens company at the corporate office for over 8 years. Okay, I did work for that. I had a $16 million account. Actually, more than half of what budget. I did take care of a $16 million budget for the Walgreens company. So it's more than what this village has for that budget as well too. So those are the things that he did get correct. Okay, the rest of the things that he did say about my background was just propaganda. It was something that I really don't know where he's getting this information from. But what I would like to do, residents, is just work with every single body up here on this board. Okay, the Mayor Covington appointed me as the treasurer of this village. I'm gonna do what I can to actually work with Dr. Inya. We do have things going on right now that myself and Dr. Inya has as of right now. She's been in meetings. I've been in meetings with her. We've been going over the budget. We've been going over the village's financials. You know, but we do have something in progress right now. You know, we have something going on right now in progress, and that is that we actually trying to figure out, you know, how to mine this fund balance account. You know, we have meetings set up in the month of July, in the middle of July, to learn the village's fund balance account. That's something that we do have that's going on right now. Another thing that I was saying.
When you say you, who else?
Also the finance department, and then I believe IRH, right, as well too. Those guys are also set up to learn the village's fund balance account. Another thing that I would like to comment on is that I don't want the just numbers that's being fabricated and just thrown around the village, financial numbers. No one really knows the village's budgets as of right now. No one knows the village's financial state as of right now, due to the fact that we don't have any financial statements that's actually complete right now. The village's month-end closings have not been closed since our last finance person has been here, our financial person has been here. So none of this, any fabrications that's going on right now, anything that's going on right now, any numbers that's going on right now, I wouldn't believe it. It's because that I don't even know, the village's financial state as of right now. And this is what, that Dr. Enya and myself and the finance department is actually trying to learn as of right now. So that's it. This is all I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Any other department? Good evening.
Hello?
Okay, now.
It is working, okay. Good evening, I am still here, while we're waiting on Ms. Keeley to come back from medical. But I did have a really good week with, Dr. Anya this week. We went over a program overview of what's going on in our department. The day camp situation, seemingly has resolved itself, and parents have been reimbursed for, their troubles and the things that went on with that. So basically now, I'm working on moving forward to establish programming within our community. I'm also working mentally to figure out locations for this programming. And I'm looking forward to rolling out next week with Dr. Enya a programming pitch to look at different people within the community to help assist with programming since we have a limited staff. And that's it. So looking forward to moving onward.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Good evening, board, residents, village manager. I will tell you, it's been a trying month for the police department. We've been working very diligently in dealing with a lot of violent crimes that are not accustomed to the Village University Park. I will tell you, as chief of police, I take full ownership of the enforcement of violent crimes that go on in this town and oversee the investigations to conclusion. I will tell you, we've been making a lot of progress. My investigators have been working around the clock, working leads, bringing people in for interviews. I have to thank the residents, the police department. After I was on the news last week, we got an overwhelming amount of anonymous calls with leads for possible suspects for these various shootings that look very, very promising. We're working with the state's attorney's office to try to bring most of these cases to a close. One thing I wanted to do is really, really elaborate on the services that your police department are providing the residents. I have received phone calls on my village phone, which is openly available to every resident in this town, in regards to concerns related to the law enforcement activities and their safety in the village. I will tell you, I have reached out to the Will County Sheriff's Office, and in partnership, the Will County Sheriff's Office has agreed to move more patrol units to Eastern Will County, to drive through the village, to patrol our village while they're out here. If anybody, most people wouldn't know this, but the University Park is actually in the middle of a Will County patrol beat. So they have to drive through here to patrol. So I contacted the undersheriff, who in turn reached out to the deputy chief of enforcement, and we have had extra police patrols out here beginning during the holiday week and ongoing. I will tell you, as the chief of police, I worked the 4th of July. I was out here on the streets on the 4th of July. I worked a full shift with my evening people on the 4th of July. And the reason I did that is number one, be cognizant of the holiday and the potential issues that may occur. Second, evaluate the village on a more higher level as a chief law enforcement officer to see what resources do we truly need in the village during holiday times and during the summertime, as well as leading by example and responding to calls for service with my officers and being out there with my officers and assisting. I will tell you, my officers are working very diligently. I have some officers working 50, 60 hours a week due to our deficit of law enforcement personnel. My law enforcement personnel are very dedicated to do their job, and they remain dedicated and motivated, and that's a good thing. It keeps me motivated, it keeps me moving, it keeps me working to try to find solutions to repair our shortage of law enforcement officers. As far as the enforcement of ordinance goes, Ms. Greer brought up a good question in regards to our enforcement of various different ordinances, such as loud music, our 2 to 6 parking, and various other ordinance violations. At this present time, I would tell you we do enforce those ordinances, but what we try to do, if it's a resident and we're talking about a loud noise complaint or a parking issue, we attempt to try to resolve these issues initially with the residents instead of immediately writing them a ticket. And what we do is, every time an officer has a contact with a resident, they run it through our dispatch center, it's logged. So when we get another call, we have the dispatch center go back and reference the record to see if we've had prior contact with the resident or not, in regards to the parking, the loud noise, and various other ordinances. If we had previous contact and we provided warnings, then at that time we give a citation. The police department is in a mode of recovering from layoffs, and we're transitioning from a reactive enforcement to a proactive enforcement, and we're looking at instituting true police-community relations, meaning working hand-in-hand with residents, getting information, addressing resident concerns. I will tell you, and most of the residents in here that know me have called me at 1 o'clock in the morning about an issue. As the mayor said, she contacted me at 12 midnight about an issue, and I take those calls and I take ownership of those calls, and I ensure my officers do their job. Myself and the fire chief, we're working on an emergency communication system. We currently have one bid from one company. We're working on a second bid this week, and next week we're going to interact with a third company to hopefully in September approach the board with 3 bids for emergency communication system. Meaning, if there is a severe storm coming in, you get an automatic notification. If there's an incident in the area, I'm able to go in the system and send out a message that can be delivered to you via text message or email. If there is a car accident, supervisor on duty is able to notify EastCom. They're able to enter the system, say there's a car accident in the area, and sends a message for people based on geofencing, telling people to stay out of a specific area due to a car accident or incident. The biggest issue that residents have been telling me for the last 2 years is how can we communicate with the police department, how can we communicate with public safety, and how can public safety communicate back to us. I've pitched several ideas, and due to budgetary constraints, we have not been able to do those things. We're fortunate